What's going on, everyone? This is DC, and I'm going to give you the best bets for UFC Vegas 94. I'm going to give you a safety parlay, some straights, and some nibbles or sprinkles that you can add to your betting slip, and hopefully you can get a large payout for just a little sum. Before we begin, let's go over the recap for last week. So our safety parlay sadly bombed out. So that makes it 3 out of 4 safety parlays for the year. I only started doing the safety parlay a couple of events ago, and yeah, sadly, the Ponzi and Salikov not to go the distance leg kind of bombed out. You know, Salikov got that knockdown in round 2 and really wobbled Ponzinibbio, but he really didn't go after it. I think he was just trying to conserve his cardio and not blow out. But yeah, what can you do about that? But our straights and props hit quite well. We got 3 out of the 5 straights there. And the Arosa and C-Rod is actually a typo from me. It wasn't minus money, it was actually plus money for the fight not to go the distance. So yeah, we hit a few of those ones. The Petrosky and Friend one was pretty close to hitting with the arm triangle by Petrosky, but we didn't hit it. And then the Bonfim KO sub was pretty live as well. It's just that Lusa, you know, took all those clinch knees to the body and did well. And then we also hit a nibble. We hit Jackson KO at plus 400. Which was good to see. So yeah, overall decent card. And I think without further ado, let's hop onto the UFC Vegas 94 card. So I know I said when I created my safety, like my 2 safety parlays for, I think it was the Conor McGregor card or the So Be It Conor McGregor card. I said I created 2 safety parlays because it was a big event. Now, don't get it twisted. I don't think this is a big event at all, but I have created 2 safety parlays because I just liked one that you know, I had to put it in there because I just loved it so much. And that's the one to the right that you can see with the Lemos and Jandiroba, which is a same game parlay or same game multi, whatever you call it. It is for the one fight, but we'll go over that second. First, we'll go with the main safety parlay. And for your warning, please don't put both in. Just pick one or the other, okay? Because you never know. There's a lot of legs in these, and one of these could just bomb out for some stupid reason. So the first one is Pudilova and Carolina to fight starts round 1. Pretty self-explanatory. Pudilova's not much of a finisher. Carolina's not much of a finisher. I don't think this fight will finish at all, to be honest. Besides maybe Pudilova getting it to the ground and finding some ground and pound finish or a sub. But either way, I don't think that will happen in round 1. And yeah, I think fight starts round 1 is pretty safe. Songwoo Choi versus Garcia, fight not to go the distance. I mean, this is self-explanatory as well. Both have horrible chins. Both pack a lot of power. It should be a stand-up battle. People saying Garcia is going to wrestle. I really don't think so, because I see in my breakdown, he only really wrestles when he gets hurt. And, you know, Songwoo Choi's got decent enough takedown defense to stop that if it occurs. And like I said, yeah, both have bad chins. Both pack a lot of power. It should be a stand-up war. And fight not to go the distance is a pretty good leg there. The last one, which is like the anchor, the big one of the safety parlay, is Tavares and Park to go the distance. I mean, if you watch their fights, both of them are not finishers. Tavares can't finish a bag of milk, and Park really can't finish one either. Both don't pack that much power on the feet, and I don't think Park is going to be able to get Tavares down to where he shine in his jiu-jitsu, which is you know, where he normally finishes people. You can see that he finishes lower level competition like Joseph Holmes and Dennis Chululin when he gets to the ground. And also gas bags as well he finishes, but not really people that are tough like Tavares. And like I said, Tavares doesn't really finish anyone. So give me plus 100. And yeah, it should be a pretty safe parlay of that one, I think. And I definitely think the Tavares and Park fight goes the distance is a really good leg that can play by yourself as well. Now, safety parlay 2. Like I said, this is a same game parlay or same game multi, whatever you want to call it. And it is between Lemos and Jandiroba. And I think this is the better one of the 2, if I'm honest. It's crazy that I think this is plus 115. So the first leg is fight not to go the distance. I think either Lemos gets the standing KO here or Jandiroba finds a quick sub. And I think that's pretty safe, to be honest. I mean, I find it very hard for this fight going the distance unless they're both conserving the gas tank, but you really don't see that in a Lemos fight. And although Jandiroba hasn't been getting submissions lately, I do think you know, the opportunity will arise for her to snatch up one if she gets it to the ground. Now, over 1.5 minutes, it's a given. It was just a filler leg, really. And then Jandiroba to get over 1 takedown, basically. Yeah, I mean, Lemos has horrible takedown defense. Jandiroba, she goes for those takedowns, especially when she's fresh. She can secure them. And yeah, so plus 115, I mean, can't go wrong. If I'm going to pick one or the other, I definitely would pick the second one with the Lemos and Jandiroba, because there's just a few less things to go wrong. I mean, over 1.5 minutes is probably a given unless Lemos absolutely sparks Jandiroba in the first minute. I highly doubt. And yeah, so you know, this is not Jandiroba to get one takedown in the first round. It's just Jandiroba to get over one takedown the whole fight. And then the fight doesn't go the distance. I mean, Jandiroba, we've seen her gas out in 3-round fights, let alone 5-round fights. This is her first fight in a 5-round main event in the UFC. She's fighting a power puncher in Lemos, and like I said, Lemos's weakness is the ground, so they kind of counteract each other and it should lead in someone finishing here. So both plus money, the safety parlays. Pick one or the other. Don't put both in your betting slip because a lot of legs there and something could go wrong. But yeah, I think we should hop straight into the straights now. So the first one is Cody Gibson to get a KO or sub against Brian Kelleher. And this is my philosophy behind this. So Kelleher, he's been finished, I think, in the last of his 3 fights. His chin is gone. And Gibson, he came out against, who was it? Brad Katona. And if he fights like he did Brad Katona, I think he's definitely going to get a knockout here against Kelleher. Now, it's plus money, so that's why I'm taking it. If it was anything minus, I would not take this prop at all. But I just think the image is there, the painting's there. Kelleher's been finished so many times so recently, sorry. And Gibson, you know, he packs a punch, and I was surprised he didn't really finish Miles Johns, but that was because Miles Johns put on a real heavy wrestling pace on him. I don't think Kelleher's going to be able to do that. Kelleher's nowhere near the wrestler of Miles Johns. So yeah, if it's standing, I think Gibson's going to catch him here or there. And if Kelleher tries to go for a takedown, I think Gibson can probably thwart that and, you know, catch a sub if he wants. But it's more so the KO side I'm leaning towards. Okay, Lee and Hyder Emil not to go the distance, minus 167. I mean, the way Emil fights, it's kind of like a given that this won't go the distance. The only way I see this going the distance is if Emil's just freak of nature and just like pushes through and just hugs him against the cage, but I really highly doubt that. I mean, Lee's a phenomenal striker. He rips the body, rips the head. We saw Emil get dropped by Fernie Garcia, and we also saw Emil drop a lot of people as well. It's not like we've seen chin concerns or anything from Lee, but I just think it's the way Emil fights. He's going to bring a firefight, and you know, when there's a firefight in a war, you want the under rather than hoping that it goes to the distance. So yeah, give me minus 167. I know it's a little bit steep, but I think it's a pretty safe straight that you can put into either a parlay or, you know, play it straight if you want. I normally parlay some of these up because I don't really like playing that many straights besides my safety parlay. I don't like putting large amounts of money on everything because it's just the way I like to do my bankroll management. Okay, Troy and Algio fight not to go the distance, plus 115. I find this really strange that this is plus money. Now we've seen Algio, he got chinned by Kyle Nelson. You know, it might have been an early stoppage or not, who knows. It's the way you interpret it, really. But either way, he has no striking defense, and Troy packs a punch. Now, Troy has no chin. So, you know, he got dropped by Nelson. He's been hurt and KO'd multiple times. I think Algio, you know, he also packs a punch, and people are kind of sleeping on him with his power. But he does have a decent amount of striking power. You saw, sorry, I'm just checking. That's why I'm linking side here. I believe it was... who was it? It was TJ Brown. TJ Brown and Alexander Hernandez. He knocked both of them down. So he can knock people down. He can hurt fighters. And Troy's chin is definitely a liability. And like I said, Algio, he has no striking defense. He just got TKO'd by Kyle Nelson. Like I said, take that what you will. But, I mean, plus money for 2 fighters that one has no striking defense, one has no chin. And both have serious power in their hands. I know people think that Algio doesn't, but like I said, he has been showing it recently. And, you know, he also could maybe have success on the ground, because Troy, I don't think, is the best on the ground either. So fight doesn't go the distance, another one, plus money, let's take it. I haven't really been doing straight plays in terms of just a money line on a fighter, but I think plus 100 or even money for Bruno Silva is a steal, to be honest. Against Durden, the only thing he's got really is the wrestling, and I think Bruno Silva has shown that he can counter the wrestling. You know, he was Triple C's main training partner, so he's definitely got that takedown defense with him, and he showed it in the Tagir Ulanbekov fight. And there was another one at the tip of my tongue. Sorry guys about this one. I'm really tired. But either way, he can thwart the takedowns. He also got his own takedowns on Tagir Ulanbekov, which we just saw what Tagir did to Cody Durden. He absolutely toyed with him. I also think Bruno's definitely got the striking advantage. You know, he knocked down Tyson Nam, which is like, I think one of the first people to actually do that to Tyson Nam. And then you got the rear naked choke straight away from that. So he's very opportunistic with his submission grappling. I mean, I think Bruno at plus money, at dog money as well, is is given. I do think Cody will be able to get a takedown or two in the first round. But as the fight goes on, we've seen Durden definitely slow down, get tired. He fights through it, but I think Bruno Silva's shown that he can handle these wrestlers. And, you know, I like the fighter with more tools in the bag and the one that's going to do more damage. So give me Bruno Silva here at plus money. The last one is Park Tavares, fight goes decision. I said that in my safety parlay. That's in my safety parlay. So if you're doing the safety parlay, do not bet this as a straight either, because you're giving yourself 2 times opportunity to lose money, or you're giving. You can look at the other way. You're giving it 2 times to win money, but you know what I'm saying. Like I said, Park doesn't really finish anyone unless they're very low competition and on the ground. And Tavares, you know, doesn't really finish anyone either. And both have good chins. I mean, Tavares has, you know, been known for a stone cold chin. He's only been knocked out recently, but they're against absolute power punches, like Gregory Rodriguez, Robocop, and he took all the punches in rounds 1 and 2 against him as well. And then, you know, Park doesn't really get finished either, besides Robocop. So yeah. Fight goes decision, minus 172, another steep one. But if you're playing this one, make sure you're not playing the safety parlay. Or if you're playing the safety parlay, make sure you're not playing this one, vice versa. Now, these are just nibblers, you know, little things that you can chuck $5, $10 on and hopefully. And these, you know, like you see here, I picked Usman to win this one, but I'm going to play Peterson sub at plus 1,000 because I think that's Peterson's way to victory. Peterson, he has good takedowns, and when he's on top, he definitely does have good jiu-jitsu. You saw him get that key lock submission on the Contender Series, and you know we've seen Usman finished in the PFL by submission. So I think at plus 1,000 you got to play it. It's one of his ways to victory, and yeah, it's as simple as that. At a huge plus money odds, why not? Now this one I really like, Ogden round 3, and it plays into 2 factors. Firstly, Ogden is a veteran in terms of his IQ. He will play the game that he has to play. And I think he's going to tire out Loic and play it safe and let Loic Radzhabov gas himself out like he always does. And I've heard people say that Loic has good cardio just because he got that knockout in round 3. Guys, please, watch all his fights. He slows down tremendously in round 2. And I'm telling you, that was a Hail Mary shot in round 3. Against Ribovics, that was just a huge size advantage. And that was Ribovics on, I think it was like 1 or 2 weeks notice. And Ribovics had no takedown defense at that stage. Please. Loic does not have cardio. And maybe Loic finishes it in the first round. You never know. But Ogden, I feel like, will definitely have the round 3 in his bag, in his toolkit. And we've seen him finish fighters. You know, he got that no contest against Motta in the 3rd round after getting that head and arm triangle finish, basically. It went to a no contest because the ref stopped it too quick. But he does go for those finishes in later rounds. And if Loic is just absolutely gassed, giving it to Ogden, I think Ogden can maybe latch something up or even KO him in round 3. So plus 1,600, why not? All about KO. I mean, we've seen Kanan KO'd quite a few times now. I think 2 times he got KO'd in the regional scene, and then he got KO'd on that short notice fight against the Brazilian. I'm just completely blanking, but it's because I don't have my notes up right now. But yeah, he's been KO'd a few times, and Halaba has serious boxing. You saw that fight on the Ultimate Fighter. Again, I'm blanking. I don't know what's wrong with me. But he has very good boxing. Okay, that's what I want to get at. And he rips to the body. And he always stays in close pocket range. And what I mean by that is he won't like stay out of range and just, you know, let fights be in lull moments. He will get in the pocket and he will just, you know, dodge and move punches by an inch, and he will fire back straight away. And his fighter in Kanan, I think, has horrible striking defense because of the way he fights. His striking is all looping punches, all hooks, and is easily counterable by the better boxers, and I think Holaba definitely is the better boxer. So plus 375. I know it's not the biggest number, but you know, I think it's definitely an avenue for Holaba, and I think he probably gets that in either the 2nd or 3rd round. So give me Holaba to win by KO. Now, these 2 go against each other, as you can see. Obviously, I'm going Virna and I'm going Lemos, but I think it's just the numbers that you can play at. So I'll start with the bottom one, which is Virna sub in rounds 1 and 2, because I'm just going in chronological order, basically. Virna, I think, is very front-loaded. Like I said, she gasses out. We've seen her slow down tremendously in the 3rd round, and I think if she's going to catch a sub, it's probably going to be in the first 2 rounds. You know, Lemos has horrible takedown defense. It's not like she has the worst submission defense. You know, she got caught in that standing head and arm choke, but I think that was a bit of an anomaly. Still, Virna, you know, most of her wins come by submission. And if she's going to win by submission, I think it's going to be, like I said, front-loaded. I don't think she's going to be able to secure those takedowns in the later rounds. And giving me a big plus money like this, I'm going to take it. Then we've got Lemos, rounds 3 or 4 or 5. I'm just going to play it like, talk about them simultaneously. Rounds 3 or 4 at plus 875 or round 5 at plus 2200. I mean, like I said, this plays in the factor that Virna has shown to gas, and I know people saying Virna has never been finished, but this is a 5-round main event. She's never fought someone the power of Lemos. We've seen Virna hurt before, we've seen her gas, and I'm playing these later rounds because they're just huge plus money. And you know, you'd be silly not to chuck $5 on Lemos rounds 3 or 4, and you know, $5 or not even $5 on round 5, because you'd get a huge payout on that one. So yeah, I'm playing it both ways, both fighters in different avenues, but still I think one of these hit either way. I know I'll be pretty shocked if it goes the distance, and I'll be pretty disappointed as well, because I do think both fighters can shine in this spot and should find the finish if they want to really assert themselves in the division. That about wraps it up. That is done for UFC Vegas 94. I'm sorry, you know, it was a bit of a slow video in terms of my thought process, but I'm just absolutely exhausted. It's been a long week of work, and yeah, you know, not the most exciting card, but not the worst either. I definitely think there has been worse cards out there. I think that Perez and Tara card was a lot worse. Play your money safely. You know, I'm giving you these props, these bets, but this is not me forcing your hand. You pick what you want to pick. You pick what you think is the right decision. You know, you're grown adults, and you know, you shouldn't be coming back here saying, you said this and you said that. Guys, it's your own money. I'm not telling you to do anything. I'm just giving you advice. So other than that, I think that wraps it up. Enjoy your day. Enjoy the fights. I might have a recap. I might not. It depends how life goes, because I'm very busy at the moment. But other than that, I'll definitely have predictions out for UFC 304, the England card. And yeah, other than that, enjoy your day and catch you later. Ciao.